As far as the refrigerator goes, guys, I have cleaned it out. I have left it open for a few days so it's all nice and dry. Anytime that you're in the RV park, I know you're going to be living pretty, you know, standardly at one location for the most part when you're up in Massachusetts. But when you get ready to leave to come to Florida or whatever you do, the important thing to do here is make sure that when you clean your refrigerator and freezer out, you let it all the ice and everything melt and the thing get, back to room temperature for a couple of days before you shut the doors and say put it in storage or whatever you decide to do when you come back to Florida. The reason you want it to be nice and dry is because if it isn't, when you come back, you're going to have some mold build up in there, and then you got to clean all that, black gucky stuff out of there when you come back to Massachusetts to live in it again. So what I would recommend is a couple days before you get ready to leave and you use up the rest of your food, go ahead and defrost your freezer, keep your doors open for a couple days, let the thing dry really good, and then then you can shut the doors and it should be good for the season that you'll be away. As far as the freezer goes, and first of all, also when we first bought the RV, we plugged it in and says, how come the refrigerator isn't working? Why isn't the freezer working? And this type of refrigerating system usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to really cool down properly. You'll start to feel cool. So when you turn on the power and you got everything set up on your refrigerator, shut the doors obviously and give it about a day and a half or so, and you'll see it's going to get cold. And it actually gets really cold, but it is worked properly. It just takes about 24 to say 48 hours to really be super cold. As far as the freezer goes, every so often, maybe every couple months, you're going to see some ice buildup on the back here. When that happens, that's normal too. What you do is, if you start to see ice, you say, oh, it's time to defrost the freezer, kind of deplete some of your food out of there, put the rest of it in your refrigerator, take a hair dryer, and what you do is you just take the rack off here and you kind of plug in your hair dryer and you kind of blow the ice down here so it melts. And down here is a little tray here, so all the water will go down this bottom area. Then take a little Tupperware or something to kind of scoop it out in a little bowl, and then with a towel or something, wipe it nice and good and dry for yourself. And then once you're done, you can take your food from the bottom, put it back in here. The freezer will stay pretty cold even when you use the hair dryer, so it doesn't get really hot where it's you got to start all over that whole 24, 48 hour process again. It melts the ice up the back quicker for you, so it's nice and clean. You can put your food back in here, shut the freezer, and you're good to go for another couple months or however long however often you want to do it. I usually do it about every couple of months. It's not a big deal. That's just the normal process of these type of refrigerators and how they work. Keep in mind that when you get the RV, I'm going to have this right now. See the light's green, and then I push it in and I go ahead and shut it off because now I have the refrigerator and freezer off. So don't forget that when you do set up your RV back in Massachusetts and you're all hooked up to electricity and stuff, push that little button here on right below the freezer back on so that you have power going in the refrigerator to start getting cold for yourself. If you don't do that, obviously you're not going to have any electricity to your refrigerator and nothing will happen. So don't forget to do that. And remember, if the power outage ever happens and you have that one gas tank open for your propane, it will automatically convert and have the propane work your refrigerator during the power outage, and then it'll convert back and go back to green. I think the light is orange. It'll be like orange when it's being run by propane, should you have an electrical outage and have no electricity. When you do have no electricity, you will be able to, your battery in the RV will still be able to run some of your lights. Obviously, you can't use your microwave or your TV and stuff like that, but you'll have some lights, but use it sparingly because you're going to be on battery power, obviously. So, turn on the lights as you need, but I wouldn't blast all your lights all night long. Just use them as you essentially would need for the evening while you have no power, if you ever have a power outage out there in Massachusetts. So that's it pretty much on that aspect of the refrigerator.